All right, what's up? What's up? I am back with another one of these kind of trainer riff off the cuff type of deals and just kind of what's in my brain. And this one's going over, do you need anything other than the big five exercises, the big five lifts, which is going to be squat, deadlift, bench, overhead press, pull up, okay? So, and I just listened to a podcast on this and they were answering this kind of question. They did a great job with it. So I just wanted to kind of add my 2 cents with this. And also, again, just kind of vent some of my frustrations over some of these questions and specific words people use for these questions, because you see them all the time. And that's need. Do we need anything other than the big five? And this always kind of frustrates me, and maybe it's because I'm just such an overthinker and maybe I can be pedantic at times or whatever, but how are we defining need? You know, you see, you don't need machines, you don't need this, you don't need that. So like you won't die if you do them or don't do them? Like, what does that mean? You'll get to 85, 90% of your best. You don't need it for joint health, whatever, you know? So it's very, very frustrating. And I see this all the time, and I just think it's a cop-out thing. Unless we're like very specifically defining need, then it's just kind of like, it's kind of valueless with some of this stuff, you know? So, but let me just kind of break down my thoughts and 2 cents on this one when it comes to need, all right? And the different kind of variables that go into it. So, do you need it? Again, will you die without it or whatever? No, you don't need anything, and I think that you can create a amazing physique, a much better physique than I with just those 5 lifts. And I'm sure we've seen it time and time again. We know the fucking dude that works out in his garage and barely has any equipment and just, spams these movements and looks incredible and is super strong and stuff like that. The problem is that that's not you, that's not me or whatever. And I'm saying like literally it's not. That does not necessarily mean you can or cannot. I don't really know. But if I'm going to answer this question with, again, if you're looking to optimize every ounce, every variable from your physique to your strength to even specific tolerance of joint angles and positions and stuff like that, then yes, you do need more than that, okay? Now again, can you just get big and strong and look good from those 5? Absolutely, you know? And this is where it's hard, because it's like if I'm breaking down, if someone's asking me this question, it is kind of like, well, what do you have available to you, for one? So yeah, if it's a 16-year-old kid, and that's all he has is barbells and a pull-up bar, I'm gonna say fucking go for it, dude. Because I think, again, going back, you can be incredibly strong and look great and get jacked or whatever from those, and that's all he has available to him. So I don't want to set the barrier to entry and gatekeep because he doesn't have all this amazing prime machines where you can choose the resistance profile and blah, 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 blah. Although again, yes, if he was trying to optimize and if we had his twin brother that had access to all this stuff, why the fuck would you not use it? That doesn't make sense. Again, these are all just different tools. How many tools do you need? Do you need, 14 different fucking size pliers or whatever? Someone might say you don't need that much, but again, for the guy that's a watchmaker, he might need that very, very specific 0.27 millimeter plier, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So this is why I get kind of frustrated with this stuff, because it's like, again, it's like, unless we're defining need and then we go through all the variables of this, of like, what do they have access to? What are their limitations and all this stuff? Then it's such an impossible question to answer that it just seems like we want to stir up controversy and just get arguments and just end up being a dick measuring contest. And well, that guy looks better than you and all he does is bench press and this guy does whatever, blah, 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 blah. So again, you can absolutely use those, and if you have those at your disposal and that becomes more convenient to you and you can adhere and be more consistent to those 5, so meaning a guy's like, well, which one should I do? And he has access to all the machines, and then he only has access to the 5 main movements. If he's showing up to the gym and giving more effort 5 days a week to the 5, but then the gym's a little too far and then he goes 2 days a week, which one is gonna look better? I think the one that shows up more often, okay? But if we have twins doing the exact same amount of days, the same effort levels, all that, one has every single piece of equipment and whatever, and one only has 5, yes, I do think the guy that has the more specific equipment will come up ahead, but now by how much? And this is where I'm like, I don't know. And if I'm being totally honest, it's probably not a hell of a lot difference. especially when we're looking at physique and stuff like that. Physique of the guy that has everything might be slightly better. Strength levels of the guy that only has access to that actually might be better. So that's where it gets weird. And then I think where you would see the biggest return or whatever, however you want to call it, is just long-term health of potential joints, connective tissue, and things like that. But this is another one that's so incredibly individual. I've known people that just do the barbell lifts. It's worked great for them and they feel great, never been injured, blah, 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 blah. And then there could be, again, another guy that's very similar that the barbell doesn't work for him because you're stuck in pronation. They don't get the same amount of freedom, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work for his structure and things like that. So that's where this equation and this question is so fucking hard. I don't think there's anything wrong with starting with those 5. And I think you can squeeze out a ton of gains. But do you need it? That's where it's like, I don't really know, you know. Again, some people, it won't fit for them orthopedically and stuff like that. So for that individual, definitely, like, let's go outside of those 5. If someone, it works well for them, they're enjoying it, they're showing up, because that's another variable. It could get redundant with those 5 as well too. Redundancy could bring boredom. Boredom could, lose adherence and stuff like that. So these are all the different variables. And again, because I'm a weirdo and overthink, and I think about all these different variables, I can see the different routes that these can go. So again, this is a rant. I don't really know. Again, my opinion is it just depends on all those different factors and variables that I just talked about. But if that's all you have access to, fucking do it, dude. But again, it's like, why would you not? That's all you have access to. And then if you have the choice, and if they're the same convenience level and whatever, then yeah, I'd probably go to the place that has all the different fucking fancy equipment and whatnots. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. I don't know where I'm going with this. Either which way fucking works. You can look great. There's dudes that look better than me that just lift rocks as well too. So, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about, is just being careful with this very reductionist view, because yes, where does that lead? Because yes, there's a guy that just, swings a hammer and picks up rocks that looks better than me as well. So he might say, well, you don't need anything besides a hammer and some fucking stones. So where do we end this discussion? And that's where I'm like, I don't really know. So do what you enjoy, do what you have available, do what you can stay the most consistent and adhere to closes, and that you fucking enjoy too, and that feels good on the body, okay? You can look jacked with a lot of different things, So anyway, that's all I'm gonna go with this one. Again, don't really know where I'm going. Hopefully somebody out there found this helpful. Do all the same, like, comment, subscribe, or do whatever the hell you want to do. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I will see you on this kind of next riff.